useless degree discourse, but nothing makes me lose respect faster than a person who wants me to take their business degree seriously. Because the only people who can take business degrees seriously are other business majors and people who went to online school. I was on campus. I have perused the ancient text. Business is just a frat boy major. The only difference between a frat boy with a business degree and a football player with a general studies degree is the frat boy was too lazy to walk to multiple buildings. A business major, you might as well have majored in homoerotic activities with a multidisciplinary minor in all the isms. I used to have to go to the business building every once in a while. I'd never seen more empty computer labs. Just one exasperated professor in the whole building just standing in front of a bunch of zombies spouting business jargon. Just sitting in a 500 level class learning acronyms nobody's gonna ever use. The only room that was always full was the one that was handing out little packages of Adderall and Rohypnol in the same little baggie. And a dude with Sperry's khaki shorts and a golf shirt saying, you gotta be careful. If you give her the wrong one, she'll be talking to you all night. That's not what you want. I don't usually get into the whole useless.
Did you elevate with your degree? Is degree important today? Again, is it U.S. institutional degrees that are important in today's modern society within the U.S. and international speaking? Is the degree useless in your vision? Does degree have value today? What is the value of degree? Is this degree time in 4 years or the 4 to 6 years of going through this experience to get a degree at a institution to make you a better citizen, thinking, morally, ethically, emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually? Are you enlightened after 4 to 6 years to get your degree? Or are you going to degree just to get a job? Is the degree still important to get a career? All of these statements above, I would say yes. A degree is still as important in the U.S. and internationally speaking for corporations and everything to bring on board on your team of employees, be it whatever corporation it is. I think you get the general basics. You get to learn how to interview, time management, skill sets. Oh, you can do this on your own. Yes, you can do it. But if it's structured, you're taught, you're disciplined. There's a lot of value to a U.S. American degree. Is the price point comparative to the value of the degree? Now that depends. But now you got to realize there's over 4,000 institutions inside the U.S. that you could attend, and all have different price points. Some similar, some different. So it's up to you as an individual to choose private or public, Ivy or public, variations of opportunities, nonprofit, for profit, religious institutions, all secular institutions. There's so much you can learn from. So this is commentary. This is influencing content creation. But what is your opinion? I say the value of a degree is not useless, and it's still value. But do you consider the degree is useless? What is your opinion? Leave a comment down below. Let's move on to the next one. I think the business degree is important. I have a degree in business administration. I have a degree in public administration. I believe the business degree was important. I got some things out, although a lot of the material I've read previously on my own, because this is my passion, is business, is learning how to run a corporation, leadership, management, administration. I need to know all these sectors in the area of business or in the realm of business. So this degree did help me with a lot of theory. Also did business simulators. I interned at companies, nonprofits. So yes, this degree really helped me. Maybe these places outside, not maybe these places I couldn't even get inside, but they're connected to the institution that allowed me streamline directly into their institution to get into these degrees. To get into these areas. Maybe I go to this place. I was in a Latino place, Hispanic place, and they're helping Hispanics learn English and working in the community. If I came in the door, they don't know me from nobody, but coming through connection, collaboration with the institution and their nonprofit institution and all the organizations that work with this nonprofit allowed me to streamline directly into the institution, the nonprofit institution, from my academic institution, degree seeking institution, and work in their nonprofit and learned so much and helped out and gave back and developed and built relationships, rapport with management, nonprofit, learn other organizations that I end up leveraging and working with. So yes, degree is still important, but that's my opinion. What is yours? Leave a comment down below. Let's move on to the next person.
Of that, because education is about employment and seeing people who chose the stable career path, the safe degrees, go through yet another round of layoffs by these tech companies. It makes me really glad that I got a useless degree. Useless because it wasn't in STEM and it wasn't in business. And what's the point of that? Because education is about employment and jobs. It's not about knowledge and scholarship, right? Like, that's the model that we've set up now. My liberal arts, my humanities, my fine arts people really are there for the love of the game. And when I think about my academic journey, which was far from perfect, I really do feel like my learning, my education was enriching and fulfilling. I met incredible thinkers who changed how I see the world and transformed my mind. And I get to be in community with people like that to this day. Like, it was so worth it to follow my passions. And I understand why people feel like that's something that they can't do, that they can't just like study their dreams and literature and film and whatever else. I totally get that, because there's actually no reason why I felt so, I guess, brave to just go for it, because I don't have any kind of safety net whatsoever. Also, this isn't to deter people who do want to study within that tech space and software engineering and all these things. I do believe there are ways to be educated in these fields that are truly transformative, and we need that for our society. I just don't know if these programs are prioritizing that. You know, they seem a bit more like a Palantir pipeline, you know. AI is amazing, kind of.
Well, I agree with. She came from the liberal art, not a useless degree, but she's using the title. But she was more positive towards the degree, and she had a good experience. Now, in tradition, 100 years ago, these particular liberal arts degrees were a lot of people, the founding fathers, and the the ones that came before us and went into government, went into public and private sectors. They wanted you to have an undergrad liberal arts broad way of thinking, and you can see her mind, and she's very enriched with a lot of knowledge from different materials that she learned, and professors helping her, because she seems like an open person from what I get from her. This individual right before me, I don't know if she's American or not, but that doesn't matter. I like her personality. I have a liberal arts degree. My degree is still unclassified under liberal arts, it's not in STEM. Well, yeah, my undergrad is liberal arts, humanities. So my approach when I looked at other people previous to me was to see the degree seeking as the experience. The liberal arts was to broaden my horizon, to open my mind, to look at the languages. I studied abroad and learned like Spanish and advanced my skills in Spanish. So I walked away with a language outside of America. So I'm duolingual. So then I learned a lot about different ancient European nations, African nations, not just European, African nations. Read a lot of material, poetry. It broadened my mind. So when you, like a person with that type of degree, when you take them to a company and you want them to lead, they're going to approach things from an open perspective, and not as such. I don't believe it's such a closed mind. And nothing wrong with if that's your direction to have a closed mind in certain areas that you never want to learn material. But the liberal arts education is supposed to enrich you, open your mind, to elevate you. And she seems to got that education and open her mind and took that away from her. I think this type of person will be good in a corporation because are on a team because they're going to approach things from a different perspective, and they're going to listen to everyone's view and understand and respect everyone's view, and then come to their own and try to collaborate with that person and understand different people have different skill sets. So this is the liberal arts education, the degree in humanities, where it gives you a robust area of different disciplines and different focus: sociology, communication, psychology, uh, environmental studies. You're going to look at things from different approaches, different lenses. So you're going to be seeing different specialties, different fields of study, and you're going to have appreciation for these fields of studies, because you might take 5 credits in this material in this field. You might take it definitely in your first 2 years of college. You're gonna get the general lectures out the way. You're gonna take music, art classes. So you're gonna be a broad way. And if you go to instead of going to a community college and you go to a university, you're gonna have a different perspective. But still, you're gonna be able to take more different classes, different walking the earth. Depending on the professor, you can be able to look at their previous history, go on ratemyprofessor.com and look at things. So this is the liberal arts experience. It's really enlighten your mind. And so I think she took a lot of things away. And I think with that skill set and you having your degree, going into a corporation, you meet the qualifications, you have your degree. So you get through the doorway to have an interview. You get the interview process. Now you get to sell yourself with your skill set and your ability to communicate and learn and grow and work with teams. So you have all the necessary, not all, but overarching necessary of a beginning manager that's trainable from upper management and middle management. So this is where you want to be. But the previous 100 years ago, what I was saying earlier was that these came from well-off families that was going to college, and people that was a rise to companies back then when they had pensions and everything, fork factories. They would send you to college and to get you trained, and you come back and you stay with the company for 30, 40 years, and you leverage that skill set. So this was where it was before, and that's why they wanted you to have a broad liberal arts education. So she actually, the second one here, she actually took a lot, in my opinion, she took a lot of things away from her experience, and she's leveraged and she's well open-minded, and she's a thinker, and I really appreciate her. Well, let's look at one more and see what this person, they think about modern times. Let me add that. In modern times, people are being taught to go get a degree to get a job. This one here, she went to get a degree to learn and then find a job. And like she said earlier, there's companies going to lay off, man. Companies going to close down. We're in a different time, a different era, and you got to be ready for that. So without further ado, I think her approach, and this is all part of learning and growing and developing as a human being and as an American citizen in a first world nation. So there's going to be companies open up, boom, companies close down. Don't let it get to you. Just move on with it. Let's listen to this last person.
Because I feel like nowadays the bachelor's degree is actually like the bare minimum and means absolutely nothing, which is so fucked because I put so much money and effort into that regardless. I'm like toying with the idea of getting a master's degree, but I feel like it's going to be the same cycle all over again, because then when you go to apply for jobs, which I've applied for hundreds at this point, they're like, oh, you need XYZ amount of years of experience, even for entry level. Bitch, if it's entry level, it should say 0 years experience. What the fuck is this? So now I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I like seriously don't know. I can't do anything with my bachelor's degree. And then I don't know if I should get a master's degree. What am I doing? I don't know. I feel like I have a mental breakdown and I spiral on the daily just because of this.
Now we have another person here that, in my opinion, approached the education from an employment perspective only, and she's very up tempo. You see the difference between the other person, the other lady, and this lady here. Her whole communication is about looking for a career. She went to college to get a degree to get a career. She looked at the career. So I bet hundreds. She said she applied to hundreds of jobs allegedly. She's looking way up there. I can imagine the job she's looking for. She's looking for to get money. Now all the tattoos and everything on that, maybe she could hide and put a blouse on that can't be seen, but just the mindset. You hear her mindset. She's looking for employment. Now, what did you bring? It seems that she approached the education So this is where I say when it's useless, you got to look at who's getting the degree too. This person seems to approach the degree from the perspective of, I need to get a job. And she's talking fast, so her mind's moving fast. So she's approaching education from an employment standpoint, not from a learning, not from a person that want to learn and grow and develop. Not saying she didn't. It's just saying how she's coming across and expressing herself, the energy coming out of her, and what she's saying. I got this degree, get a job. And they tell me you got to have this many years of work experience. Quite naturally, they want to have this work experience. But if you was evolved in first in your educational experience, you could talk about some things. You could communicate to the interviewer about some courses that you've taken, you study abroad, some internships you worked with, things of that nature. Then you have a more prolific view on education and what you could bring to the workplace. You got to express. It seems like from her perspective, and she said, kind of spazzing out. She looks like she just went to school and took it as a job. I need to get just a job degree and get out to get a better job. That's just the way it's coming across to me. And the other person was talking about, hey, my wonderful experience. So you had the guy that was on the other end talking about, he was seeing degrees in general as useless. The second lady was seeing the degree as experience. She went in and took it like the 1800s, early 1900s, and grew and developed and opened her mind. This one here, the third person took it as a job, just something to get that she needed to check off and go to an interview. And then, but forget when you get the interview, everybody with a degree gets an interview because that's a requirement for the employment, the position. Now think about these three individuals going in and applying for the same job. Out of these three, who would you hire? I would hire the second young lady because she seemed leveled, mature, approachable. When I think about how she would interact with my customers, I said different. Will she be patient with the customer? The third one here, she's very go, 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 go. I don't think she'll be patient with customers. I don't think she'll try to figure the answer out and get it done and get you on. I don't want that. If I'm building a business, I want you to build relationships with customers. See? Right there would cancel her out when I would interview her. Just where she come across. The guy, on the other side, he doesn't really care. He seems to not to care our degree. Talk about what they was doing by Adderall and all these other kind of pills. His experience, and it doesn't mean nothing. So he come in there with a nonchalant approach. And he's like, what you gonna offer? He just had that kind of energy just being put out there. So all these people have a different way of viewing things. What is your opinion? Leave a comment down below. I think the degrees are important. It's the individual approach to the degree and how they take the degree when they go into an interview. A degree gets you an interview. It doesn't necessarily mean it gets you the job. And that's the problem. I think a lot of people in this generation in modern society thought you automatically going to get a job when you get a degree. There's a lot of people that didn't get jobs when they got degrees. They went further in education. Like she said, she's trying to go get a master's, think about getting a master's degree. Go get it. There's a lot of opportunities out there, but you got to be understanding. Every opportunity doesn't come because you have a degree. Sometimes it ain't, like the old saying, it ain't what you know, it's who you know. So it's a lot of things you got to put into place when you're looking for employment, not just a degree. Degree was a beautiful experience. You got your opportunity to learn and grow and develop, or you just took it as this young lady, in my opinion, she just went and got a degree for a career component. So yeah, that's how it's approaching it, and this is her reward. What is your opinion? Leave a comment down below. Let me know.